We were in frozen Vermont for the Killington stop on the Winter Dew Tour.
Yeah, the Dew Tour is unique because it has competitions for both skiers and riders in halfpipe and slopestyle. Snowboarders have several tours to choose from. For skiers, this is it. And do you think that makes a difference?
It sure does, Tony. It's a bigger thing for the skiers who see the Dew Tour as a tryout for better things to come. The second of the 3 stops on the Dew Tour this winter was at Killington Resort, where an ice sculpture called the halfpipe and carefully groomed kickers designed to launch human bodies to ridiculous heights awaited the skiers and riders. An international field of 140 top free skiers and snowboarders gathered for 4 days of practice runs and qualifiers, leading to the nationally televised finals. What would you say is the main reason that you guys do the Winter Dew Tour?
Main reason is, it's for the athletes and the fans. Snowboarding and free skiing continue to grow in popularity. A lot of the younger kids, are coming up and participation is growing. So we want to help foster the growth of both sports and give these guys a platform to show their skills and show that they are real professional athletes.
Many of the snowboarders competing in halfpipe are familiar names to sports fans. They are Olympic athletes, and their exploits receive broad coverage in the media. And how do you feel like you're doing on the Winter Dew Tour now?
I'm not really following the tour this year. I'm doing the TTR tour and I'm doing the Open tour and I'm focusing on the X Games, so the Dew Tour is just kind of an add-on.
How many contests are you doing this year?
This is my 3rd one. I've got 4 more, I believe, 5 more. I don't really know. We'll see how it goes. Just kind of pick and choose along the way.
Media coverage of the Dew Tour is pretty intense. For the snowboarders, it's one of many tours every season that showcase their sport to an international audience. Being in the Winter Dew Tour compared to other competitions, what's the big deal?
Well, it's almost the same as most other competitions. They do treat the athletes a little different here. We get a lounge down here and up at the top of the course, which is pretty fun, and then being paid a little better by this event than most other events. Just for showing up, you do pretty decent here.
I love the Dew Tour. Every contest, every stop, we got such a good rider field, and everyone's throwing down. You can always expect a good contest, but you always want to do well at every single contest. But the Dew Tour, to do well here and even to do well in the overall would mean a lot.
The Festival Village is focused on the snowboarders. Autograph sessions and posters are mostly with riders. Even athletes who aren't competing show up for their fans. It was really nice to see Kevin Pierce coming off a severe head injury.
Getting back on snow?
Getting back on snow, not yet though. Gotta wait a little bit longer. It's gonna happen.
It's a different story with the free skiers. Their tricks in the pipe are no less exciting to watch, their amplitude even bigger than snowboarders, and their spins amazingly complex and awe-inspiring. And what made you want to be a part of the Winter Dew Tour?
Well, I love skiing, so this is the biggest thing in skiing. Might as well be a part of it, right?
It's definitely the premier tour that we have all season. There's definitely some other big events, but they're kind of solo events, and so to have a series of events at this level is awesome.
It's just the biggest tour for free skiing, so I came here last year and I'm here this year, and it's just a great competition.
For skiers, this is their opportunity to share the spotlight.
It's a pretty prestigious event. It's amazing. There's tons of talent. There's tons of spectators. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun, especially skiing under the lights at night is really cool.
The practice runs showed how much talent there is at the highest level of the free ski sport. The athletes from Canada and France did particularly well in the Killington competition, taking 5 of the 12 spots in the finals. Well, how do you feel about your runs so far?
Oh, I just landed one of my best runs so far, and going into finals, I'm fired up. I'm really excited.
The biggest surprise in the finals was 19-year-old Gus Kenworthy from Telluride, Colorado. It was his first time in the big show.
Hey guys, I'm down here with a little bit of a celebrity.
I'm stoked. Killington put on an amazing event. The pipe's perfect. The slopestyle course is huge. This is my first time ever making it to a final, and I couldn't be more stoked to ski the pipe under the lights.
Simon Dumont has to be a favorite in every contest he enters. The reigning X Games champion has already won the first stop on the Dew Tour at Breckenridge. He was the first skier in the pipe in practice and was working hard on fine-tuning every trick.
Am I coming around like this more? Am I dipping later?
I mean, it looked to me like you were pretty dialed other than just landing low.
All these male superstars free skiing at such a high level in the pipe raises a question about the missing element. Yeah, it's interesting. You do the men's free skiing in the super pipe. Why is it not women's too?
Well, with the women, it's been a long process and a lot of research and discussion with a lot of the women athletes. And right now, the depth of field in women's free skiing isn't as deep as say women's snowboarding. But we met with like Jen Hudak and a bunch of those girls earlier this year, and we're doing two events for the women: super pipe and slope and free skiing. They had a really good turnout in Breckenridge. The girls ripped it, and hopefully in Snow Basin do it again, and then next year maybe bring it on full time.
The free ski pipe finals were staged in prime time under the lights, making a statement about where the sport is headed. There were big crowds, and despite the temperature, excitement was at a fever pitch. In the finals, televised on NBC, Gus Kenworthy held the lead late into the evening, only to see Frenchman Kevin Roland surge past him on the second to last run. Roland followed up his Dew Tour win with a gold at the X Games a week later. Simon Dumont took home the bronze, a disappointment for this highly competitive athlete. Still, he has high hopes for the future. Where do you see the sport going? Would you like to see it go to the Olympics?
I think the Olympics, it's a no-brainer. If they don't do it, they're missing out, because I feel like we're definitely bringing in that younger demographic, which is huge for the IOC, and I feel like we're putting on a good show. We're bringing amplitude, we're bringing trickery, we're bringing everything. If they don't put us in, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to keep coming to Dew Tour and putting on a good show.
So Tony, do you think there's any chance the skier halfpipe would be at the Sochi Olympics in 2014?
Dawn, that's a tough call. And as you saw at Killington, the men's field is deep and it's international. But there aren't enough ski contests to put together a good qualifying tour. And the women's field, well, that's not ready for prime time yet.
You're right, Tony. It is a tough call. What do you have to say about it?
Dawn, what are you trying to do? Start a social media revolution?
Well, stay tuned to RadXSports. You may find out.